Hey guys, welcome to the channel once again. We welcome you and we thank you for coming by. We ask that you give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, and please, give us a comment. We love comments. And anyways, welcome aboard. We appreciate you being here. We know you have a lot of things on your plate and probably have better places to be, but you choose to spend time with us, and we love it. Today we are going to visit Mattapoisett. It is in Plymouth County, Massachusetts. It's not too far from our homestead. We decided to go over there and learn about the town and go to the Historical Society. The town was purchased from the Wampanoag Indians in 1664. It was incorporated later on in 1857. And in 1958, 101 years later, the Mattapoisett Historical Society was created, and they started a museum, and it's been there ever since. So we went there and checked out the town. In the beginning, it was nothing but farms and logging, and then later on in the whaling industry, it became known as the place to build whaling ships. Okay, so the town has a long, steep history, and we're going to take you along today to check out their fine museum with all sorts of artifacts. I hope you find it of interest. I know we did. We had a blast that day. We really did. We had a lot of fun. Anyways, we thanks for being here, and we welcome you, like I said, and we're going to take off to the museum right now, and we hope you enjoy, guys.
We made it to the Mattapoisett Museum. Fighting Studebaker. Patent. Look at all these cool old tools. Kinds of old. A mowing machine sharpener. One would like that. Much different than what he uses today. All kinds of stuff. Old-fashioned forge. Ron's probably never mentioned, but his grandfather first of all was a blacksmith, and then his grandmother took over when his grandfather died. So she had a forge in her back shed, and she used to make floor lamps for years. He made different kind of things. He made like some different type of copper lamps, but she pretty much stuck with the floor lamps as she got older. All the tools.
Here's a contraption that is sharpened lawnmower blades with.
Isn't that pretty cool?
Back
from
in the
what
old
you use?
days. It's kind of what I do for a living, and what I sharpen lawnmower blades with looks nothing like that, folks. Looks like that's going to be done by hand crank.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an old plow there. Look.
Yeah, old plow. The old-fashioned. There you go. Mowing grass.
Yep.
That's a really old one. Without horse-drawn sidewalk plow.
This is a horse-drawn sidewalk plow.
That's pretty cool.
It was purchased in about 1900. It was used on the sidewalks until 1940s.
Wow. That must have been a cool job.
Oh my God.
Where's the actual plow part? Oh, this right here.
Yep, I know.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's all I have for them. It's right here. Wow.
It's a Studebaker.
Yeah, patent. The size of the boots, these are probably almost as tall as I am.
What it did was it ran the streets and spread water on the streets,
Oh, to keep
so that
down
when
the
the
dust.
when the horse and buggies and so forth went up and down the streets, you weren't inundated with dust. Old-fashioned cranberry separator, huh? How's that for pretty cool?
Imagine that's almost got the label still on it.
It's amazing.
A turnip mincer? Oh wow, oh, the cattle feed. I didn't know cattle ate turnip.
The whole wall full of
Garden tools.
it's like garden tools, farm tools,
Yolks.
Yolks for the cattle. And a corn sheller.
Pretty cool.
Automatic corn sheller. Stick the corn down in there. Spin the handle. The corn comes out the bottom.
What's the bird name on that?
Kind of unique.
The Wanderer, a first-class whaling vessel, was launched from the J.H. Holmes and Sons shipyard in Mattapoisett that once existed on Water Street in 1878. One of the most beautiful whale ships to ever set port in the whaling city, New Bedford, Mass. Here is her preserved mast. She is represented well here in this small gem of a museum.
Old firefighting equipment, look at that. Here's the buckets that they used.
Oh, those are actually water buckets?
Here's the buckets that they used. You know how you see in the movies where they all got into a Congo line like? And I don't know if Congo line, I guess.
That's a word.
I guess Congo line isn't quite the right thing, but you know what I'm talking about. Here's some of the buckets that
A
they
line.
would use.
Look at this for a sharpener.
Okay, when I was a kid, we had one of these. My father had a garage outside, and that my grandfather used to work in. This is how they used to sharpen
And it's
axes and different various tools. It's smooth.
I would always thought that
It's
would be
actually,
rough.
I think it's sandstone, but I'm not sure. And the one that my father had was also manually operated, but you would do it with your feet. Your feet would go kind of go like this on these two pedals, and the thing would turn. With this, it looks like you're gonna have somebody spin it while another guy works it, I guess.
Oh, that was turned by a young boy. Probably hated his job, it says. The Wanderer was a whaling bark. 1878. Is that shipmaster over there?
Yep.
Look at that. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, look at the camera.
Here's a GoPro taking
Yeah.
a picture of an ancestor for sure. Something tells me this does not have the ability to go underwater or be attached to a bicycle handle.
Look at these little, that must have been a pretty looking cake when it was done.
Right?
Let's see what the molds. Look at that, three, that must have been, they do three-handled iron thing.
I don't know if you can see that, but it does say Bissell on it. And it's actually a carpet sweeper from way back in the day.
Really cool.
It's an old Franklin stove too. Look at that.
1862. That's a fancy one too,
1862.
because it's got
very
the,
fancy.
you put the water on top to help, for
Oh yeah.
humidity.
You had some bucks if you'd used that stove back in the day.
My mom had one like that, old clam boil pan. That's what we used for clam boil anyways.
Is that like a 1821 hot tub?
Yeah. See the bubbles?
Shoemaker's tool and die department, I guess you could call it, right? All kinds of different
Oh,
tools.
shapes and
Shape
stuff.
leather, and cut leather, and form leather. Because back in the days, you didn't go and buy sneakers from China. If you needed something to get your feet, you went to a shoemaker. Every town had one. Or every city had one at least. It's amazing.
Look at that old purse.
Looks like it might be a doctor's medical bag.
Very cool.
Kind
Probably
of
more like a traveling
kind
bag.
of Doc on Gunsmoke would have.
There you go.
I don't know.
No, that's a doctor's one right there.
Maybe he treated Festus out of that bag. There's a little kid's push sleigh. Isn't that cool? Again, that was a family with some money right there back in the day. Very cool.
The summer home of the people of the Wampanoag Indians.
Wow.
That's very cool. An art group, art students made that.
What, from some school?
Made this whole diorama, yeah. From the Rochester Regional High School.
Rochester Regional High School kids made that? Wow.
Yep, isn't that cool?
Very cool.
Very nice. Very cradle. The old carriages, I'm like. Jeez.
Baby chairs up here, son?
Yeah, look at that gorgeous one right there. That nice. Old-fashioned duck rocking horse. Not a rocking horse, but a duck horse.
Jeez, why do I want to ride that?
Look at the old baby rocking.
Yeah, rock it. Look at that. Here's a museum in a museum.
Of early American
All
tools.
sorts of early American tools. Right up my alley. This over here looks like carpenter's tools with planes and
It's a boring.
wood planes and nails and a boring,
A boring machine. In
An
other
old-
words, a drill.
an old drill or boring machine. You could bore a hole through wood. All sorts of stuff. Some of it I don't really recognize. Hammers and chisels and screwdrivers and all kinds of saws, augers. And not one plugged into the wall. It was all done with arm power. I bet you the folks didn't have any trouble sleeping back then after using all these tools all day. I bet you they shut their eyes and to sleep they went.
The carpenter's tool chest. Oliver Wendell Holmes used to sit on after getting his morning paper.
GoPro just got into its own shadow. All kinds of auger tools. Now, if you wanted to, drill a hole in wood, that's what you used.
I know how that was.
And that handle is what you had to turn. Oh my God. And I was complaining about using the hammer trying to get a bell housing off of the back of a Cumming diesel a couple of days ago with a tool that was doing most of the work. And that right there, you drill one hole through a piece of wood, did a lot more work than I did all day trying to get that off that Cummings diesel. The old loom machine, wow, really nice. I like loom machines. A lot of skill to run one of those. It wasn't run by a robot in a factory, that's for sure. There's an old fireplace with all its fixings, its tools, buckets.
Cooking.
That's how they did stews and
Cooking
soups.
utensils, right?
And
Candle maker, candle.
when they wanted to like roast a chicken, it would hang off this over the top of a fire. And I mean, it's just amazing, the way they worked, the way they lived back then. And back then, we didn't have furnaces that ran all night and so forth and so on. If you wanted heat all night, you had to get up and you had to put it into a fireplace over and over and over. And if you didn't, it got cold. So they used to put these bed warmers. I don't know.
I wouldn't mind one of those today.
It reminds me of the episode where they turned Samantha into a bed warmer. Remember?
Yeah. Want to make some candles?
Right? Sue and I used to make candles, but not like that. We used to make jar candles. That's independent little
Yeah. Tapers.
taper candles. Here's a really, really cool old-fashioned kitchen. Really
A
cool.
little more modern than that one. Actually has
This is like
running
probably, I
water.
would say 1930s maybe, somewhere in there. But I don't know, I would say, but very early. They didn't have electricity because you still had the water pump for the sink,
But they had water running, right?
But look at it. Very functional, very mechanical, and very,
A lot of work.
very neat. I mean, you had everything you needed. Didn't have to plug nothing into the wall, like I say. And then we wonder why we're at where we're at, I guess. Everything we do has a plug. You can't even brush your teeth now without having a plug plugged in.
You actually have one of these still. Not quite as old as that one, but
Old-fashioned meat grinder.
Mom used that all the time to grind things.
That's how you made hamburger back on the
Yeah.
old farmstead, right?
We haven't used ours in years, but we have them.
And my grandmother had a stove. Not exactly like this, but the same theory. And every morning she'd put coal in it, or wood, just to keep the water hot. She would do some cooking in it. And I'm talking right up until, I don't know, mid-1970s, 1980. That's how they used to do laundry. How would a mother of 6 like to have this to look at? Jeez, I wouldn't even want to look at it for our own clothes, never mind.
That was a big deal when they got that. Look how
It was
happy
a
they
big
were.
deal. Oh yeah.
She was happy to have
Happy as a pig, and you know what?
that. Especially with her husband doing the turning.
That says my week: Monday wash, Tuesday iron, Wednesday sew, Thursday market, Friday clean, Saturday bake, Sunday day of rest.
They did work hard in those days. This is the old-fashioned way. And you wonder why she was smiling. Go from scrubbing on that thing all day to, yeah, I'd be smiling
Yeah,
too.
right. They went from washboards
Right.
to this
Exactly.
to rolling it
Right.
to just turning a handle.
And-
Rocking churn. They made butter that way. The butter would go back and forth.
Oh.
It would just rock.
Never seen one of those before.
I only know that because I saw one time on the Waltons. Of course, it says churn, but I did see one in operation once on the Waltons. The same thing. I thought it was pretty cool. They were talking about how cool it was because the Waltons used one that went like this. You had to do this to it, and they thought this was pretty cool.
Yeah, I bet.
An old-fashioned bicycle. Look at that. Whoever thought of that setup? So,
Imagine.
I mean, if you lost your balance,
Sheesh.
and that's a little one, but some of the bigger ones, if you lost your balance, it looks like you fell 8 feet to the ground. I wonder how many people went to the hospital, do you suppose, because of their bicycles?
This is all wood. Oh, that's metal. That's metal, but the tire's all wood.
Yeah, they all were. Well, steel rim. Yep.
That's crazy.
How'd you like to sit on that seat?
Nope. I've seen how much my padded seat used to hurt.
Gentlemen, have a seat. Old-fashioned eagle
That's
weather
beautiful.
vane. Look at that carved, it's wooden carved. Carved by a guy called Henry Purington. He carved figureheads for many of the whaling boats built in
Oh, the
Mattapoisett,
Wanderer, which is
including the
boat.
Wanderer, right, which was that mast we
Big
just
boat, yeah.
look at that. Oh,
That's gorgeous. That almost looks like it's metal.
it's amazing.
The coloring on it. Oh, here's the Wanderer right here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, last ship built during the Mattapoisett 19th century. Wow. Oh, we left the west coast too.
Well, yeah, as the whales, remember, we learned that as the whales become less and less, they had to travel further and further. It went from they were out for a week, and then 2 weeks, and then 2 months, and then 2 years, and then some of them were off for 7 years in the end. They had to travel to Timbuktu to get them because we fished them dry. We didn't know anything about anything at all about conservation or species. We just fished them, and everything that we use for lighting, lubrication, and all of that. We needed it.
So one whale equals 17 elephants. Wow. Isn't that pretty cool if you look at it that way? Wow. 3 dinosaurs. 3 dinosaurs, 17 elephants, or 133 ox.
That is amazing.